Hey YouTube, this is Scarecrow Kaiser. I'm gonna do a deck profile on my Revenger deck because I haven't done that in a while. First disclaimer: this is not a Raging Form deck. I'm not a very big fan of the Raging Form deck. It's really hit or miss. It's just too inconsistent of a deck for me. I think just the pure Revenger deck is probably the better build. This will be the 16 G-Zone build, starting with the starter, obviously Judge Bao is amazing, one of the best starters in the game. Triggers 8 crits, 4 Revenger draws. The Owl is cool and all, but I don't know about you, but when I play this deck, I often have to use my triggers sometimes for retires, so I'd rather be able to use Freezing Revenger than not be able to use the Owl. And then for heals, obviously, for grade 1s, we got 3 Dorient and 4 Masquerade. I wanted to play 7 Revenger grade 1s, and I was back and forth between them because obviously Dorient is like really good and stuff, but I found that Masquerade making good columns and stuff and being able to fight by himself was more valuable to me. I play 4 perfect guards that unflip. I mean, there are obviously reasons to play the other perfect guard, but especially with Dismal existing now, I don't feel as big a need, and a deck that's very counterblast heavy, I'd rather have damage unflipper. 1 Darkheart Trumpeter and 2 Sword Breakers, because amazing with Judge Bao. To the grade 2s, 4 Abyss, 4 just Revengers. Yeah, these cards, this is obviously required for your Legion, and other than cooperating with Dorient to unflip the damage, having like 8 cards that snipe things just makes the threat of a Diablo that much more deadly. For my last grade 2, I'm playing 3 mana. Now, obviously when it comes to this last spot, it's usually filled by either Maka, Mana, or Makart. For most of the existence of this deck, Makart's been my one of choice. Lately I've been messing around with Mana, and I kind of like that I can use her before I'm ready to do Legion like I was with Makart. I've never really liked Maka. She's okay and everything, but her not being a Revenger is what really always bothered me because I couldn't retire her. Mana may be weak, but she gets presence on the board for sacrifices, and she's a Revenger, and I don't have to wait till I'm Legioning the user. So like if I want to like early game before I'm ready to Legion, bring out Diablo to use its skill, she helps pay that cost. And then the grade 3s, 4 Mordred and 4 Abyss. Very standard. Into the G-Zone. I guess I'll start with the G-Guards first. One of the Shadow Paladin G-Guard. This card is terrible. It might just be the worst of the G-Guards. That's why there's only one of it. It's a pretty awful card. To help it make up for it, though, we're playing 2 Screws. Much better than having more of that guy. And then 1 Dismal. So that's it for the G-Guards. I'm running 2 Blizzes. I like, as you've probably noticed between my deck profiles, I like having like 1 or 2 Blizzes in my G-Zone, especially when there's so much room in them now. But I like having this option of this card late game, bring it out and this thing be huge where it's perfect guard or let it hit. In certain matchups like Link Joker and stuff, I find this card is super clutch. So we got one Spectral. I wouldn't play more than one in this deck. This deck that can't, like, unlike the Diablo deck, you don't have rear guards that are counting as like 2 retires really or anything. So his cost is high and you don't get the Diablo heart skill off of him. So just the one. Then I'm playing 1 Doom and 2 regular Aura Geyser. I don't use Doomed very often in this deck. He's there if I have the option. Usually I'm just using the Aura Geyser, but the Doomed is there just in case I want to like clear up their field. But I almost never use them. Usually just using the Aura Geysers. Then we got 1 True Revenger. This card's okay. I'm not a huge fan of this, so you could probably maybe play like a 3rd Aura Geyser if you don't like this. I have it here. There are some turns where you want to stride, you don't want to counterblast, or you don't have it, and he can like thin the deck and power up the field a little bit better and things like that. So that's why I have him in here. Then we got 1 Grim Recruiter. He's still a pretty good card, like especially like for a first turn stride. This is still a pretty good card. Of like the on hitters in the game, he's definitely one of the better ones, I would say. And then last we have our 4 Diablo, obviously, because this card is too lethal not to play it. Even if you don't use it, its presence is just like threatening to people and makes them play differently. So that is it for this. Thank you for watching. Any questions on card choices, things of that nature, please put them in the comments.